Today I'm going to teach you how to throw a cylinder on a pottery wheel. For starters, it's important that you have the right materials to do this. You'll need a sponge, maybe a variety of tools, and a bucket of water, and of course the wheel. To start, you get a chunk of clay and get it into a somewhat rounded form and then throw it into the middle of the wheel plate. It is key to have good form while throwing on the wheel. This will make it much easier. It is important to be stable by putting your elbows onto your legs and staying in this position as much as possible to make sure that your clay is consistent. Make sure to have plenty of water on your hands and then place it on your clay and begin spinning the wheel at its fastest speed. Your clay should begin to form somewhat of a shape that looks something like this. Be sure to always have control of your clay though. Don't let go of it while it's spinning. Right now we're working on centering the clay, but before you center, it's important to make sure you get all of the air bubbles out of the clay. You can do this by slowly raising and lowering the clay to make sure that all of the air bubbles are out of it. The final step of centering is to make sure that the clay is in somewhat of a hockey puck shape because it's the easiest form to work with. So lower the clay down into a hockey puck shape and make sure that it is centered on the wheel. Once your clay is centered, you can begin opening up the pot. Do this by moving your fingers to the center of the pot and then slightly pressing downward. Be sure the wheel is always spinning while you're doing this. Make sure your hole goes down as far as it can without touching the bottom of your pot. Once you have the hole far down, then you can start widening it by slowly applying pressure to the walls of your clay. Once you are satisfied with the width of the hole, you can begin building the walls. Do this by applying pressure with your fingers on the outside and the inside of the pot. Be sure you're using a sponge for support and be careful because this part's really hard. Once your walls are the width that you would like them, you can edit your pot by changing the texture and making sure that everything is perfect before you move on to trimming. To trim, you're going to want to use a tool for the bottom of the pot to scrape off all the excess clay and make the bottom of the pot the way that you wish it to be. Once you are done trimming, you can then cut your pot off of the wheel with a wire tool. And then you're done. Congrats on making your first pot! Though throwing on the wheel is a difficult process, with practice and careful consideration, maybe this could be you someday. Dream big!